now, Sarah Palin, and I read this piece of trash on the plane on the way from Colorado Springs. And there's been a lot of attention paid to the cover. Sarah Palin and many others have noted that there's something very sexist and wrong about putting this particular picture on the front cover. I tend to disagree slightly. I think she looks fabulous. But there's a far more offensive picture actually on the inside of the magazine, which depicts her, some of you may have seen this, in a Catholic schoolgirl outfit as a wooden puppet. And this, to me, is really the far more damning image, and a symbol of what I've confronted over my public career since I started in 1992 at the LA Daily News, of the left, the cultural left and the media left, continuing to characterize female conservatives, and every one of you female conservatives in the audience can identify with this, as some sort of empty vessel for the man. And I recently joked that this is female conservative derangement syndrome. Cartoonist, formerly of the Orange County Register, Mike Ramirez, was able to cap that self-parody with a cartoon that I published on my site yesterday, where he illustrated very starkly that when the front of the commander-in-chief is bowing down, the rear of the commander-in-chief is raising itself up at America. And I think this is something that the Tea Party movement especially has been very vocal about. And one of my favorite Tea Party signs comes from, of all places, San Francisco, and demanded, yes, you know that there's hope and change in the air when San Francisco is holding tea parties. And this sign demanded that Obama stop apologizing for America and instead start apologizing to America. One of the things that I've tried to emphasize in the work that I've done on ACORN is the direct tie to Barack Obama. And of course, this is all obvious to us. And unfortunately, it was known even to a reporter at the New York Times. But there continues to be a whitewash of the Obama campaign's own complicity. Last August, they funneled $800,000 to one of these ACORN front groups, Citizen Services, Inc. At first, they were honest with the FEC and told them that it was straight-out political money. CSI is a nonprofit, tax-exempt organization that is not supposed to engage in partisan activity. Someone on the legal team at Team Obama realized this and refiled forms with the FEC and claimed that it was all of a sudden, poof, get out the vote money. And nobody did a thing about it. They said, okay. They wiped the slate clean, and that was it. Where are all the watchdogs for electoral integrity when you proved my point all along that this woman was never going anywhere? She was not thrown off the bus, she just switched seats. And I find it highly ironic that President Obama, just in the last day or so, had to travel all the way to China to extol freedom of information and the free flow of dissent and political speech. Does anyone know how to say chutzpah in Mandarin? Because I really like to. This theme of thuggery and the Chicago way in the White House has been with us even prior to Barack Obama taking office. We saw it during the campaign, where he sicked Bob Bauer, now his legal counsel, on GOP dissenters who wanted to run an ad on TV stations across the country critical of Obama's ties to Bill Ayers. Bob Bauer tried to sick the Department of Justice on GOP donors. And then, in a parallel effort, a group came out of nowhere that was spearheaded by a former Move On operative. They called themselves Accountable America, and they threatened to send, and probably did, send, quote-unquote, warning letters to GOP donors, advising them not to give money to Republicans and basically chilling their rights of free speech and free association. This is what we're dealing with. There is a fear of being called a bigot or a xenophobe or a fill-in-the-blank phobe anytime you speak frankly, and I mean it frankly, these issues. Who is bewildered? Who among us is surprised or shocked that so many red flags were raised by Nidal Hasan and nobody did anything about it? They're the ones, our Homeland Security officials, who always tell us, if you see something, say something. Well, there were plenty of people who said something after they encountered Nidal Hasan, but nobody did anything. And of course, it's no wonder folks in the military have written me time and again about how PC has chilled action that could have saved lives over the last 8-9 years. And it is a lot for the average citizen to overcome that kind of paralysis.
Online by a professor here who purported to have identified subjects who were all left of center, who he said determined that the opposition to President Obama's health care plan was the subject of subtle racism. And although I'm sure you haven't seen the actual study itself, I wonder if you can comment generically on that sort of thing.
The same way that I pronounced moderate, I now pronounce racism, in big capital letters. It's the only card they have left to play. Of course, there's no surprise that a study is conveniently coming out. It's always question the timing. Now to smear opponents of the government healthcare takeover as racist. And I'm sure that Michelle Obama, the original grievance mongerer herself in the Obama administration, will be touting this study along with all of the other left-wing groups. Here's my problem with a lot of the GOP establishment. They do not want to directly confront the grievance mongerers and the people who use the race card. And you saw this with how the McCain campaign dealt with state Republican Party organizations that wanted to directly engage not only the use of the race card, but also of the class warfare and resentment card that Michelle Obama herself played. And just speaking of Michelle Obama, because Michelle Obama, racial resentment, they're the same card, flip sides of the same coin. There are very few people in the media who want to directly confront her own role in the White House as a political hardball player. And we hear so much about her toned arms. I'm working on it. But not about the political muscle that she has exercised and the influence and power that she plays in the East Wing. And I've said many times that I think at the end of this 4 years, she will make Hillary Clinton look like a kindergarten with that appearance. I went in with the mindset that I wasn't going to be railroaded and I wasn't going to be steamrolled by these ignorant women. And there have been... conservatives who've gone on who are more concerned about A, getting invited back, which I was not, or B, being liked in the green room, which I didn't care about, that they allow not only themselves to get steamrolled, but the conservative movement in general. You go on a venue like that and you are representing the right. And if you roll over, the right is rolling over. And my goodness, could there be an easier venue to steamroll these ignorant liberals than something like